I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you would please stand for our invocation of pledge of allegiance. Our gracious Heavenly Father, what a blessing it is to be able to gather freely. Help this organization, Lord, this board, to make the best decisions for the people of Pickens County. Be with our elected officials, both locally, state, and federal. Be with our president and his cabinet, our nation's soldiers that are fighting for our freedoms. Please go with us throughout the rest of this week. Please deliver us home safely. And all these many favors and things we ask in our Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2 excuse me, is reading of last month's meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that the minutes be accepted as written.
Second. Have it moved and second to accept last month's meeting minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carried unanimously. Third item is old business. That application has been withdrawn as of the 2nd of July. So we'll go into new business. Item 4 is a rezone request. And I'd like to announce when I open up a public hearing for this rezone request. RZ-6-19-1276. I'd like to ask Rodney what the county's recommendation is, please.
Yes, sir. Nicolaas and Christine Walt submitted a request to rezone 18 acres split out of a 36.81 acre tract of property located on Lower Dowda Mill Road in Jasper, Georgia. The current use listed for that property is agricultural, and the Walts would like to rezone the property to highway business. The Planning and Development staff does recommend that this be approved.
Thank you. Is Mr. or Mrs. Vanderwalt here?
I am.
Is there anything you would like to add, please?
The only reason for this rezoning is we have saturated the piece of property that we have and we cannot expand from there. So the 18 acres will involve another custom apartment building for seniors that would be attached to Rock Creek and just beautify the mess that was created now after that whole logging process took place there.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Vanderwalt?
So you're going to have 20 units, is that correct?
Yes, the last building that we completed in 2017 had 12 apartments, and we're just duplicating that in a 20-unit building.
So it's on a nearby adjacent piece of property?
It is about 150 yards up the street, yes.
Okay.
And it would be part of Rock Creek?
Yes, sir.
So does Rock Creek provide meals and
Yes.
those types of?
Yes, it's full-service apartments. We actually provide anything for the apartments. The only difference between that and the assisted living is there's not staff at beck and call 24/7, but everything else they get it's all inclusive.
So the people that would occupy this new facility would be able to go up
Yes.
to Rock Creek to
Yes.
that dining facility if they want?
Actually, most of them choose to dine in their own apartments. They don't really use any of those facilities. Yes.
Is that because of the cooking?
It's because of the cooking, and I think people just get so comfortable and set up in their ways that it's more of an inconvenience for them to go for 3 meals at a gathering hall, and they just choose to us delivering the meals right at their apartments.
I understand. Just having some fun.
That's okay.
I can't imagine getting set in your way. Any other questions? If not, we have 2 people that would like to speak on this agenda item. The first is Mr. is it Tom Brian? Brian?
Yeah.
Would you please state your name and address, please?
My name is Tom Bryan, 761 Lower Dowda Mill Road, directly across from the proposed property. Concerns obviously density. It's a rural road, very rural, 35-mile-an-hour road. Based off the previous success of Rock Creek Manor, there are currently 50 living units within 10 acres. This property can easily expand to 150 plus at that rate. So obviously there's a concern of density, traffic, water capacity. Since their last build, my water pressure hasn't recovered. So I obviously have obvious concerns of future planning of the property, of how much population and growth there is, and what the plan is to, or what infrastructure is in plan to face this growth.
Thank you.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, let's wait till after both
Okay.
are completed here. Is it Jared Rappaport?
Yes, sir.
Please state your address, please.
Jared Rappaport, 1801 Silver Creek Road. And I appreciate the explanation that you have, and other than the utilities, as you mentioned, I don't have many concerns other than future rezoning in the area, as long as, you know, some are rezoned highway business. Other properties will also potentially be able to rezone to different uses if they prefer. So, but that's a question for the future. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I add to that?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The rezoning of commercial, rural, residential, highway business, this is becoming kind of a hodgepodge along that road. We have KM Davis, Rock Creek Manor. There's another property at the entrance of the road that's been defunct for years. So back to the infrastructure going up this road. What's it going to involve? What's it going to look like down the road? Commercial, agricultural, residential, so on. This road is a cut through from Cherokee County. So people are already doing well over the speed limit, 50 miles an hour down this road. So there's that concern. It's increasing as population grows. I've been there 21 years. The property that we're talking about is the estate sale of Mrs. Cox's property. And they've been actively marketing that property for the last 2 years. So there's concern of that development.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Vanderwall, is there something you'd like to add?
If we get back to the water situation, 10 years ago, I provided water for the area from Cherokee County, $176,000. The water that you guys are on is not connected to the water we use at Rock Creek. It's a separate line. So what your water pressure involved is totally different. You're off the 2-inch line that's been there for many, many years. You do not get water off the 8-inch line that I laid and paid for.
Since the last bill.
Excuse me, we're going, no, this is not a conversation back and forth. You address the question, the comments to the board.
The Rock Creek property actually sits on industrial property that we rezoned to highway business. It's actually zoning down, not a zoning up. There is a bunch of industrial property still available there that has not been occupied. I think everything that we've done there over the 10 years has done nothing but raise your property values, beautify the community, and since those drug trailers, where we've had a huge problem with drug dealing and violence and death over the last 10 years has been removed, it has done nothing but beautify everything in your area and raise your property values and the security.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board?
I'd like to ask you, I mean, the situation with the water, do you have any idea about?
So far, whatever time Mr. Vander Walt has built a new building, he's been working with the water department of Pickens County and increasing the size of the lines to these new units and to the new facilities. So they are working hand in hand with the county to upgrade these lines as they bring these new structures on board.
I'm curious about the issue of this differing
If I'm,
access, for lack of a better word.
some of that is, it's very close on that service delivery area. And
There's a boundary right in that area, and I'm not real sure where the line is.
So it's possible that
it's possible
Rock
that that
Creek is on the
too
county and
and
the line that
is
Mr.
on the
Bryan
city,
is on the city.
quite possibly, yes.
I have a first-hand account of it. Since that build, there was problems with the water connection. I was without water for days. They get it fixed, they take it back apart. Since that, my water pressure hasn't been the same.
Are you on county or city water?
County.
There was an existing 2-inch line that supplied the neighborhood just before you approach Rock Creek. It's been there for years, and it's run all the way across the Pickens County line to the Cherokee County line. And that's where all these folks got their water from. When we rezoned in 2009, the commissioner and I, we sat down and it was proposed that we bring the water line for Rock Creek extensively just for us from Cherokee County of across the interstate. And that is an 8-inch line that we laid, and we are the only beneficiaries of that line, as far as I know.
So it's a dedicated.
It's a dedicated line. Yes, Tim Stansel laid that line, and it's when you cross the interstate, it shoots off to the right, and they actually tapped in. It's about a mile into Cherokee County that they tapped that line from the Cherokee County. It's actually Cherokee County water. I don't know how they do their billing, but in any case.
Okay. Mr. Bryan, have you spoken with the county water
Well,
department?
I haven't.
Okay. I would suggest you follow up with them, let them know what your issues are, and they're responsible folks. I
Right,
think
yeah.
that they'll figure out what they need to do to resolve some of that for you. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the recommendation of the planning
We have
department.
a move to accept the recommendation.
I'll second.
So move in second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Pardon?
Could I ask
Yes.
again that all these documents and the videos that are being taken be included in the record?
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
That hearing is closed. I want to remind everyone that this is a recommending body. The final say goes to the Board of Commissioners. Just kind of FYI for you there. So, the next item on the agenda is item B. We have a new rezone request for RZ-16-19-1277. We're going to have an open hearing for this rezone request. Rodney, what's the county's recommendation, please?
Yes, sir. Janice Allen submitted a request to rezone 709 feet, roughly .02 of an acre of property located on Pleasant Hill Road in Talking Rock. The current use listed for the property is suburban residential, and Ms. Allen would like to rezone the property to agricultural. Basically what it is they have a large tract of which they're dividing up among family members, and the access point that comes out onto Pleasant Hill Road literally comes to a point so that there is no access off of Pleasant Hill Road. So they purchased an adjacent piece of property in order to give them the 60-foot access off of that road, and we're just trying to get the properties to be zoned, to be zoned the same. And it is planning and development staff recommendation that it be approved.
Any questions or comments for Rodney?
Just a comment, I wish there was an easier way to handle 709 feet than bring it before.
I agree.
I had to duck when telling them that
I
they.
know, I'm sure you did, but
That's not the first time.
No,
this is the world we live in.
unfortunately, yes.
Ms. Allen, is there anything you'd like to add?
I know, I would just really appreciate this if we vote yes.
We don't have any concern or questions or comments from the public on this request. Is there anything that the board would like to ask or comment
Sean,
on?
I'll make a move that we approve the request as Presented.
We have a move to accept the recommendation.
I'll second.
And second, any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank
You
you.
got your wish. Go ahead, Roger.
And again, I'd like to include all the documentation and the video is to be part of the record, please.
But this hearing is closed. The next item on our agenda is board comments, which is item 5. Are there any comments from the board? If not, next item is public comments. Anything from the public would like to mention and discuss? Next item, item 7 is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming out.